So here's the inside of American Friends Service Committee. Over here is where we log in all of the letters that we receive from the prisoners and then log them out after we're done sending back their letters. As we walk in here, this is where the interns along with Natalie and Pete work, where we answer all the letters from the prisoners. Here is our room where we keep all the memos that we can send to prisoners, giving them information about different kinds of problems, like from how to write a grievance to how to go through the parole process easy to...
I'm Pete Martell. I'm the Criminal Justice Program Associate at American Friends Service Committee in Ann Arbor.
And I'm Natalie Holbrook. I am the Program Director for the same dealio. Well, first of all, the American Friends Service Committee is an international national organization that was founded in 1917. The criminal justice program was founded in the 70s. I'm not sure which year because that's in debate. What advocacy means is we hear directly from people inside the prison system in Michigan, and we help them navigate the bureaucracy that is prison, and also raise awareness to the public on abuse, neglect, etc., those kinds of things that are inherent in a prison system. And we also contact Department of Corrections people, outside sources, lawyers, media if necessary, around various issues that prisoners raise to us. So Penny founded that. We've been an advocacy program since about '87, actually. And then through our advocacy work, we do systemic change work because obviously patterns of abuse, problems with access to parole, programming, etc., come to our attention, and then we work on systemic reform. And people in my family had been caught up in the criminal justice system because of drug use and because of abuse of alcohol, and it was really interesting to me, and so and something I wanted to work on. So I eventually got the position here. So my work comes from a organizing perspective, really community organizing and public education perspective. That's where I'm coming from.
Back in '94, when I was a kid, like 19, I got locked up for a bunch of stuff, and tried to escape and got more time added on to what I was doing. Ended up spending like 14 years in prison. During that time, I'd been in touch with American Friends Service Committee for quite a while. They put out a segregation questionnaire. Throughout the following 5 years then, we'd be in touch about different things, them helping me or me trying to help them around here, and got out in 2008, and I was working over here at the law school on a prisoner rights class action complaint, and when the job posting came open, one of the professors over there heard about it, and she forwarded it to me, and it sounded like a great opportunity. The department's a $2 billion a year bureaucracy, and whenever an inmate is trying to argue for something where they're right about something, the department can pretty much just shoot it down and say, no, that's not how it's going, or not even address it or whatever. And there's so much power on one side and so little power on the other side. The prison wall, this big cutoff between what goes on in there and what people think out here, is going on in there. If there's more open communication, I think the more our society learns about what life is like in prison, the more displeased they would be with it. Because there's a lot of frustrations and aggravations and just tensions that really don't need to be there.
This work is really important because there are folks that we could be helping and caring for before they ever ended up in the justice system or the injustice system. And we don't do that well in this country, and we never have. We've never created social safety nets for folks. We've never put emphasis on putting $2 billion into education versus putting $2 billion into prisons. My vision for this program work is that we are able to, through the stories we collect from folks inside and the work that we do with folks inside and their loved ones and people who are interested in the plight of people in prison, that we can show the humanity of folks in the prison system and the successes that people have once they return to the community. We're working on a wellness curriculum that's a peer education wellness curriculum. We're hoping to take inside to pilot at the women's prison or male prison around here somewhere. And the reason we're doing this is because we've gotten about between 30 and 40% of the complaints we get from people in prison are usually around healthcare or mental health care. And we're constantly being reactive to individual complaints, which we'll continue to do, but I think it's important to be proactive. And so we're developing this peer education curriculum to go in and do an intensive training with 12 to 15 people about what it means to be a peer educator, and then actually educate folks on various illnesses, disease states like HIV, AIDS, hepatitis C, diabetes, and also just other wellness issues, so good diet inside, exercise, how to run a emotional support group for one another, peer emotional support groups, talking about spirituality, so holistic wholeness.
A joint project that we're both working on is this this new office color coordination thing, where we try to wear matching clothes, especially for interviews.